Greetings, my excellent friends. My name is Gavaroc Fevinor, and this is bloody relaxing. I mean, just look. Here I am, in my rightful position, that is to say, towering above the rest of humanity, on an incredibly comfortable, magical, floating, flying bed. Oh, you might think that the wind resistance up here must be atrocious, but look. My majestic hair rests completely untouched, for the magic extends not only to the power of flight, but also to the power of unassailable comfort. Motion sickness? No, the enchantment takes care of that as well. No matter how we jerk and spin and rotate, we remain the height of relaxation. It's important to conserve energy, you see, before a dose of shenanigans. And what is the story of Hildibrand Manderville, if not an overdose of shenanigans? Our story now brings us back to Vesper Bay, a place of no small amount of trauma for an Eorzean adventurer, at least one in the early stages of his or her career. But, thankfully, we shall not be paying a visit to the Wanking Sands today. No, we have a far more interesting destination in mind. As we touch down and regretfully leave our perfect bed, we head towards Ellie to see what new great crisis has popped up in the life and times of the Mandervilles. Oh, and of course, my loyal Gala kitten is still with me. You couldn't see her while I was in bed, but as soon as I got out of there, she reappears. The business of betrothal. Ellie has put her skills as a reporter to good use. Ah, there you are. I've been doing some investigating of my own since we last parted. I believe I found our Lapis Maiden. The girl's name is Arabella, daughter of one Master Gugarimu, a prominent member of the East Aldenard Trading Company. Her eyes and hair are a most exceptional shade of blue. Her beauty is the talk of the Sultanate. Her purported beauty, I should say. You see, none have actually seen the girl in the flesh. Apparently her father is the overprotective sort. Some say that the maiden has never set foot outside the family's well-guarded estate. But all this is about to change. Rumour has it that the girl is to be wed. And not just to anyone, mind you. To the heir to the Bruguière Consortium. The formal announcement is set to be made at a commemorative feast to be jointly hosted by the two family businesses. The venue is Costa del Sol, where preparations are going on as we speak. Word on the street is that the bride-to-be will be making a rare public appearance. It is here that the thief intends to strike. I couldn't be more certain of it. Piqued your interest, have I? My sources tell me that the bride's father is already in Costa del Sol, overseeing the preparations. This is one scoop I'm not going to miss, and you're welcome to come along. For now, no sign of the gentleman inspector, but you know as well as I. Where the trail of investigation goes, so too shall Hildibrand. And I have no doubt we'll be encountering him again very soon. Much to my entertainment and perhaps Ellie's chagrin. But hell, I have never, ever turned down an excuse for a beach day. Actually, that's untrue. I don't particularly like the sand much. It's coarse, rough, irritating, and it makes you exceptionally prone to prequel references. So, it's not my favourite place, but we'll still go here. Actually, speaking of early Eorzean adventurer trauma, hello, Whisket. Fuck you, Whisket. We move on. This is Master Gugarimu of the East Aldenard Trading Company, and father of the bride. Let's see what he can tell us. Ah, Alalafel. Brilliant. That was sarcasm.
You're not one of my associates. This banquet is for invited guests only. If you have no business here, be on your way at once.
Beg pardon, my good sir. My name is Ellie, reporter for the Mithril Eye. If I might have just a moment of your...
Yes. That two-gill sensationalist rag. I read your tiresome screed about the self-styled phantom thief and his letter of challenge. If you have come to tell me my daughter is in danger, I can assure you that your concern is entirely unwarranted. I have not kept my Arabella safe to this day, to see her whisked away from me by some fly-by-night rogue. I have spared no expense in securing the best protection that money can buy. Norton Antivirus. Or possibly these fellows. The Brass Blades of the Gerbera, an elite unit of the most lethal swordsmen in the Sultanate. They say one of them once caused a man's heart to burst just by looking at him askance. The moment they set eyes on the would-be thief will be his last. If the thief is obliging enough to allow himself to be seen, or do those goggles serve some purpose other than making the wearer look utterly ridiculous? Ah, the inspector is here. Well, one of them. Consulting Inspector Briarien, your reputation precedes you. And what, pray tell, would you propose? I have promised some of the wealthiest men in the realm that my daughter will be attending the festivities. To renege on my word would have dire implications for the family trade.
My proposal is a simple one. Entrust the investigation to me. The thief will be in shackles before the banquet commences, and it will cost you not a whit of your precious gil.
Very well. Let us see if your reputation is deserved, but consider yourself warned. Greater fortunes than you will ever know hinge upon this banquet. I will not tolerate any disturbances.
You bow like a buffoon! Sorry. Such touching concern for his coin purse. If only he could muster the same for his daughter. But do tell, Inspector, after he slipped under our noses the last time, what makes you so confident that you can catch our thief this time around? Our man may boast 1,000 faces, but he has but a single modus operandi, and it is painfully obvious. A letter of challenge, a precious treasure whisked away from its rightful owner in the broad light of day. This tells me that our thief is an attention seeker, with supreme confidence in his abilities. Doubtless he means to target the maiden using the same methods he used to abscond with the treaty blade. Even now the fiend is in our midst, having assumed the identity of someone who will be in close proximity to Miss Arabella at the feast. I have already narrowed the field. Have you? Arabella's betrothed, Vans, would be an obvious target for our thief. So too would be his father, Morgant. Yalto Nolto and his wife, Sainana, the guests of honor, will give a toast to the couple's happiness. Both will be standing close to the stage where the bride-to-be is set to appear. Needless to say, we cannot rule out Gugurimu himself. Finally, we have Lewenhart, a steward of Gugurimu's estate, and Miss Arabella's personal attendant. All the key players, save for the Lapis maiden herself, have assembled in Costa del Sol. Doubtless the phantom thief lurks among them, his face concealed, gathering information and planning his course of attack. We will begin our questioning of the subjects immediately. Should you encounter any suspicious individuals, you are to report back to me at once. Excuse me, Inspector Briarian, sir. When you said question the subjects, did you mean suspects? Well, yes, I did. That's what my subtitles say. Why? Did the word subjects come out of my mouth? Yes, that was entirely your fault, and not the fault of the content creator who can't read. Right, I shall take all of the blame immediately. After all, it is you putting the words in my mouth, and I am but a puppet to your whims. Yes, good. I like this. Carry on. Did you just punch someone in the arse? Oh. Oh, it's him. Oh. Hildibrand Manderville. I could smell the stench of idiocy and incompetence from a mile away.
The pleasure is all mine, contriving Inspector Briardian. Forgive me for not revealing myself sooner. I was simply conducting a bit of preliminary undercover investigative work. Yet to see through my ingenious disguise with such ease. Yes, I dare say your powers of observation rival even my own. Fear not, friends. I, Hildibrand, Agent of Enquiry, Inspector Extraordinaire, have arrived to defend the maiden's honor as only a Manderville man can.
He does realise there's still a fish on his head, doesn't he? Good Inspector, I realise we have not seen eye to monocle in the past, but a fair maiden's virtue, mayhap her very life, is at stake. From one gentleman to another, let us put aside our differences. Yes, I would welcome your assistance in this case. Me? Assist you? Aren't you a funny man? Oh, it makes no matter. My plan is so flawless that not even your bungling can interfere this time. If you wish to assist me, you may do so by keeping watch over the suspects. In the meantime, I have a promising lead to investigate. I shall return before the banquet begins. While I know this may be asking much, do try not to do anything too stupid in my absence, will you? I would speak with you, but not here. I will be waiting for you outside Costa del Sol. Come quickly, for we do not have the luxury of time. Very well, Mr. Bossy. I'll be with you momentarily. Can't help but think that one inspector has been almost trying to overshadow the other. This isn't Briardian, agent of snobbery. It is Hildibrand, agent of enquiry. So I really don't know where he gets off thinking he can take the lead in all of this. Well, nonetheless. It is not by fate's whimsy that we have been reunited here today, friend. You were destined to be by my side as I apprehend the fiend and defend the fair maiden's virtue. Inspector Briardian seems to have taken a liking to you. You should be proud, as you can see by his treatment of someone we know. The man doesn't suffer fools lightly. Despite Briardian being a mere few steps away, I nonetheless decided to get into my four-seater flying edgelord car in order to take the tiny trip. You've come. Excellent. With that buffoon suitably distracted, we can get to more important matters. But before we proceed, what might I call you? An unremarkable name, but it will suffice. Wait, what? I didn't tell you, but you just kept going. You did not give me the chance. What should I call you? And then you just go. What do you think my name is? Blank space? It's Gavaroc, you miserable pile of shit. Okay, nonetheless. But it will suffice. Now answer me this, Gavaroc. You were there when the phantom thief, in the guise of Lady Dorilda, stole off with the treaty blade. Was there anything about our foe's disguise that struck you as particularly noteworthy? Well, you know, it was a while ago. Not to shatter the fourth wall or anything, but it has been a few weeks since any of this was recorded, so... That is for me to know, Briardian, and for you to suffer agonizingly as you lie awake wondering just what goes on within my impenetrable and brilliant mind. You keep your observations to yourself. That, or you have none of import. Either way, I can respect a man who would listen instead of speak. There are two aspects of the Phantom Thief's costume that drew my interest. First, the utter perfection of the physical disguise. A thorough inspection of the mask left behind at the scene revealed a tiny prism sewn into the fabric. It is this stone that allows him to change appearances at will. This, however, was of secondary concern to me. From movements to mannerisms to that utterly obnoxious personality, the thief did not merely look like Lady Dorilda, he was her. Such a feat could not be accomplished by magical trickery alone. We are dealing with a clever and thorough criminal. Not content to rely on his ample powers of disguise, he studies his targets closely before assuming their identities. He emulates them utterly and completely, that not even their closest friends or family could detect that aught is amiss. All the key players arrived at Costa del Sol 3 days ago when preparations for the banquet began. This would afford our thief more than enough time to study his would-be target. And yet, some disguises are more challenging than others. Put yourself in the mind of our phantom, Gavaroc. If you were the thief, whose identity would you first assume? Well, first of all, I wouldn't be the thief. That would be illegal and immoral and wrong, so that would be completely outside of my wheelhouse or ability to comprehend, as I am a law-abiding citizen in all things. However, perhaps it would be one of the guests. Would he? The guests are well acquainted with each other. One misstep and the thief's cover would be blown. Okay, fine, so I am not a deduction brilliant genius. I just wear a top hat and a monocle and look like I know what I'm doing. Don't call me out. No, there is a more logical first target, one that would afford him the opportunity to gather the knowledge he needs, and at less risk. Yes, one of the brass blades of the Gerbera. Strong in number, few of words, able to come and go as they please. A fearsome reputation to scare away any who would draw near enough to realize something was amiss. An ideal entry into Costa del Sol for our man. Deducing as much, I made a point to question brass blades in the area. Little to my surprise, I learned that there was one man who had not been seen at his favourite alehouse for 3 days past. Our thief has not made a habit of wanton murder. Doubtless the poor man is lying naked in a ditch not far from here. In addition to general security duties, each of the blades has been assigned to serve as bodyguard for one or more of the guests. If the man can tell us of his assigned charge, like as not, his answer will reveal the current identity of our thief. Our thief would not have had the time to carry the unconscious man far. I will canvass the immediate area. You begin your search on the outskirts of Costa del Sol. Accustomed as I am to doing other people's busy work, it surprises me to get a task so important as retrieving a captured and mistreated person, but nonetheless I took to it with aplomb, taking my flying chair across the beach. Can't say I've ever spent time searching a beach for a naked man before, and I don't particularly know that I'd like to make a habit of it, but nonetheless, he wasn't too hard to find. Excellent. You are one of the less incompetent assistants I have worked with.
Thank the gods. Please, free me from these chains before the snippers eat me alive.
There. Now tell me all that you can remember about what happened to you, and try to be brief.
We just arrived in Costa del Sol. Had a briefing of sorts. Master Gugurimu gave us each our orders, who we'd be looking after and the like. Had a mind to tour the area, get my bearings. Next thing I knew, I felt a thwack on the back of my head. When I came to, here I was, stripped to my skivvies.
Much to the chagrin of those of us who have to look at you. You say you received orders from Master Gugurimu? Who was to be your charge?
My memory's hazy, but... one was Morgant, father of the groom. The other was a Lalafelin gent from Limsa.
Yalto Nolto. Now try your best to remember. Were there any other guests with whom you were ordered to interact?
Come to think of it, yes. There was also the steward, Lewinhart. I was to review with him the schedule of events, discuss the protection, key supplies, that sort of thing.
Morgant, Yaltonoto, and Lewinhart, thank you. For an incompetent fool, your testimony has proved astonishingly enlightening. I shall see this man back to the city and into the possession of some new clothes, after which I shall return to Costa del Sol to continue the investigation. Go on ahead of me, and for the love of the gods, just make sure that Imbecile doesn't cause too much trouble in my absence. Briardian, that is somewhat akin to asking a tornado not to wreck the place on its passage through, but I can promise that I will look in on the man and see what he's up to. Is that good enough? Because it is as good as you are going to get. Hello again, Whisket. Have I mentioned that I hate you and hope that you die in a fire made out of rabies? No? Well, just thought I'd let you know. Ah, there you are, friend, and not a moment too soon, for I was about to commence my investigation in earnest. Tell me, did you and Inspector Briardian's avenue of inquiry bear fruit? It sort of did. We have 3 leads, which isn't as good as 1 solid lead, but it's acceptable. Morgant, Yalto Nolto, and the steward Lewinhart, you say? This does not surprise me. Yes, I had considered them all exceptionally suspicious from the start. With the Lapis Maiden in danger, we cannot afford a moment's delay. I, Hildibrand, shall have our thief in shackles before the Inspector returns. Fear not, friend. The Inspector shall be none the wiser. Ha ha! If he had hoped to nab the fiend for himself, he should not have simplified the task for me so. Ah, there is one of our suspects standing suspiciously under that canopy over there. Just you wait, fiend. I shall rip the mask from your face and reveal you for the rogue that you are. It was at this point that I began to fear for the immediate future. Not knowing how literal or figurative Hildibrand was being, visions of a rather uncomfortable physical assault charge levied upon the Inspector began to fill my mind.
All I have done to raise Arabella to be a beautiful young woman has been in anticipation of this day. I have never been more proud to call myself her father.
I am Vans, heir to the chairmanship of the Bruger Consortium. And who exactly were you again? I'm sorry, I just realized that I don't particularly care. Oh! Stand back, friend! The man we pursue is a criminal mastermind. The merest slip of the tongue could put our case, nay, our very lives, in danger. But have no fear. Miss Ellie, ready your quill, that you might record my every word as I employ the time-honoured art of parley, handed down from Manderville men of ages past, to reveal our foe.
I can think of few topics that would interest my readers less than your blatherings. Just catch the thief so I can have my story, would you? Don't worry, Inspector. I brought my quill and journal too. Your adoring fans won't miss a word.
Capital! This is why you are my favourite assistant, Nashu. Now behold as I ensnare our prey with a web of words leading to his inevitable demise. Good day, Master Gugurimu, and a fine day it must be, for you most of all. Allow me to offer my most heartfelt congratulations on your betrothal to the enchanting Miss Arabella.
What is this nonsense? Arabella is my daughter. You... Just who in the 7 hells are you, anyway? Guards! Guards!
Now hold your chocobos, Gugurimu. I recognize the lad. This is Hildibrand, agent of enquiry and inspector extraordinaire. Come to save the lovely lass from the clutches of the phantom thief, have ye? I reckon we owe the man our gratitude. Aye, Vans?
The phantom thief?
Balderdash and rot, if you ask me. That said, my beloved must be quite the beauty indeed, to have such rumours told about her. Perhaps she's worthy of me, after all.
He exudes an unusual degree of confidence for such an effete, fashion-challenged youth. Most suspicious.
He's a damn sight easier on the eyes than you.
That's me, Vanis, ever calm in the face of danger. Truly his father's son, though the accent is a bit strange. A worthy heir to the Brugaire Consortium, and a worthy match for my daughter, I must say. Yes, I foresee many years of prosperity for our families, or family, I should say. Which reminds me, Master Vans, Arabella asked me to convey her gratitude to you for the golden clasp you sent her some months ago. It has not left her neck since the day.
Oh, that little trinket? Ah, 'twas nothing. Tell your daughter the greatest treasures in the realm will be hers once we are wed. The time-honoured Manderville art of parley. We'd be sleeping with the fishes now had Morgant not spoke up on your behalf. That said, nothing about the interactions between the three struck me as particularly unnatural.
Let us not rush to conclusions, Miss Ellie. A gentleman fancies a more methodical approach. Yes, everything is proceeding according to my master plan.
Whoops! I was supposed to be taking this down, wasn't I? Everything is proceeding according to my disaster plan. Got it.
I sought only to earn the trust of the families before confronting Yalto-Noto and Lewinhart, who have aroused my suspicion from the start. Come, we have a thief to apprehend.
Vans is me own flesh and blood, heir to the Brugaire Consortium. It barely needs saying that he'd settle for no less than the most storied beauty the realm over. All I have done to... Wait, nope, hang on, I've already said this. Never mind.
Astride my majestic fire pony, I travelled to the next locale. Yalto-Noto and Lewinhart. One of the two wears a mask, but which? With a few words, all shall be revealed.
Renting out Master Gagaruju's private property would be almost unthinkable for most folk. But Gil talks, and neither the Brugaire Consortium nor the East Aldenard Trading Company are in any danger of running their coffers dry.
I've not seen your faces round here. With the East Aldenard Trading Company, are ye?
Why, yes, good sir, very much with them. Some might even say we are the East Aldenard Trading Company.
Oh, pleasure to meet ye. Do tell, is the Lapis Maiden as lovely as they say? Sainana here's no slouch herself, but like me, she's getting on in years. No offence intended, my dear. Oh, but where are me manners? Yalto-Noto of the Brugaire Consortium, and this is me wife, Sainana. I look forward to many profitable dealings with you and yours in the moons and years to come. I dare say this wedding, and the joining together of our family businesses, couldn't be happening at a better time, what with all the manner of fell beasts and beastmen taking aim at our wares. Why, just the other day a shipment of imported foodstuffs was waylaid by the Mandragoras. Nasty buggers, the lot of them. If I were 20 years younger, I'd dice 'em up myself and make a salad out of... You have heard of the Mandragoras, haven't you?
But of course, I once spent a year holding body and mind with a fist of Ralga. My fellow monks and I would chant several hundred mantra watsits a day.
And your food stores were occasionally raided by the ruthless band of rogue vegetables known as the Mandragoras, yes? Would it kill you to read the Mithril and educate yourself from time to time?
A fearsome lot they are. Rumour has it they'll not rest until every fruit or vegetable harvested for consumption has been freed from captivity. Why, they struck at the larder here just days ago. Our supplies were decimated. Fear not, my lady, I was able to arrange for an emergency shipment to replace the stolen produce. It arrived safely some time ago.
Settle down, Saitana. Sorry, Sainara. so similar. Consonants, they're difficult. Forgive me, wife. She's always saying how meat is bad for her figure. And with that, I'd best go prepare me speech. Carry on, lads.
Criminy! None of those three were suspicious in the least. But we must not give up hope, lest he of many faces have the last laugh. Where there is a will, a gentleman shall find a way. Come, Nashu, we must move quickly, or the Lapis Maiden shall not be the only one to come to harm.
You speak so fast, Inspector. The sign of a quick mind, I'm sure, but where was I? Give up hope. He of many faces will bath last. The Lapis Maiden shall not be the only one to come to a farm.
I'm not sure that captures the Inspector's intended meaning. But this is no time for us to be standing around. Inspector Briardian will be back any moment now, and he's not the type to suffer excuses.
Quite so, Miss Ellie. Fortunately, I have a plan. Let us investigate the foodstuffs of which Master Lewinhart spoke. Should we find any contradictions in his testimony, we can consider the man a prime suspect. Inspector Briardian will be back before long. Come, Nashu! This is no time to delay.
Oh, how I am looking forward to meeting Miss Arabella. They say many a song is sung of her beauty.
And how I am glad to hear that you do in fact know how to speak, Sainana.
Mind you, there was a song or two sung of me in my day.
Good food, good drink, and good tidings. Today's announcement will send even more gil flowing into our coffers, only makes the wine taste all the sweeter.
Satisfied that none of the guests are, as of yet, secretly the villain, we move along. Some of those coconuts don't look like coconuts.
Look at this. Now there's water. Now there isn't. Now there's water.
Nashu Makaraka is nothing if not easily amused.
These crates must contain the foodstuffs of which Master Lewinhart spoke. At a glance, they do not appear particularly suspicious, but our investigation must not be deterred.
Are you sure? I mean, most of these look fairly foodish, but, 3 of them look suspiciously similar to Nashu's explosives. I'm sure it'll be fine. Let's get, right up close and personal and start poking at them.
Crates of assorted foodstuffs and a veritable host of luscious-looking coconuts. It appears that our man Lewinhart spoke true? Ye gods! Are those explosives I spy concealed amongst these coconuts? Perhaps I spoke in haste. It would appear that we have found our phantom thief after all.
Oh, those are mine, Inspector.
What did I say?
I was looking for a place to set them down, you see, and those coconuts were looking awfully lonely.
Nashu, far be it from me to cast doubt on your choice of hobbies, but, what in the name of the 12 would possess you to bring your creations to an investigation?
Well, they were so helpful in jogging your memory that one time, and I just thought, does this mean you won't be needing this piece of driftwood either?
Your enthusiasm is always admirable, Nashu, but in this event I fear it is somewhat misdirected. Now set the driftwood down over there and concentrate on taking your notes like the astute assistant you are. I say, we are most fortunate that confounding Inspector Briardian is otherwise occupied at the moment. Were he to chance upon this scene, he would veritably explode in rage. Now, let us dispose of these things before an errant ember sends us all to a fiery demise.
Confounding Inspector Briardian, explode, a fiery demise. Got it. Are you sure about that? Uh-oh. Don't look now, but someone has returned at the absolute worst possible time.
It'll be fine.
You two are supposed to be keeping an eye on the suspect and staying out of trouble, yes? The inspector will have a fit if he sees you here.
But, Miss Ellie, should Inspector Briardian come upon these explosives, the consequences will be even more dire.
Gavaroc and I will see that the inspector keeps a wide berth of this beach. You two just get out of here and be quick about it.
Quick thinking, Miss Ellie. Come, Nashu, we shall return for your creations once Inspector Briardian has been led safely from the scene. Investigation calls us, and we must heed its cry! Investigation, cowardice. It's the same thing, really. Well, that'll wrap up this particular section, though we leave ourselves with somewhat of a cliffhanger, given that we are uncomfortably close to an exploding cache of food. As food fights go, this would be a particularly egregious one, with rather a bit more collateral damage that I'm prepared to accept. But we'll see how it goes. Perhaps, the lore of Chekhov's cherry bombs will not hold in this case, and the explosives will remain unexploded even unto the conclusion of the story.